So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
First question for you both is about working with Barry, because now you've been lucky enough to work with two great directors on these characters. But can you tell me something about him specifically that made making Mufasa maybe a creatively unique experience for you?
He was just incredibly encouraging. We improvised a lot in the 2019 version, which Jon Favreau encouraged us to do. But this time, I guess Barry really liked what we did in that version and really had us lean into riffing a lot, going off script, bantering with each other. And a shocking amount of that ended up in the movie.
Yeah, and I think in the first one, we were kind of like beholden a little bit more to some of the actual lines and things like that you want to hit from the original film. But in this, there was none of that. We were kind of beholden to nothing. So it was much freer in some ways because we could really go off and we could just kind of let our imaginations run wild.
We were beholden to nothing.
Nothing
Do you
in
understand?
The Lion King 2. Mufasa.
I like when you work that way. Is there anything in particular you remember improvising that made you stop and go, there's no way they're ever going to keep this, and now it's in the finished film?
Pretty much
Pretty much literally everything. I watched it with my jaw on the floor, being
Same.
like, they used that.
Same.
They used that. I could not believe it.
I think some of the Timon and Pumbaa stuff is there this time as a little wink wink for the adults in the room, which I'm happy about.
I enjoyed that quite a bit.
But Hakuna Mufasa. I think we
Mufasa.
improvised that literally in a very silly moment. And
Yeah.
it became an actual song.
I enjoyed how much you held tight to that and kept it going.
Well, yeah. We brought a lot of our own insecurities as far as our lack of Lin-Manuel Miranda songs.
I mean,
Exactly.
for some reason that speaks to me.
Yeah.
Seth, I wanted to make sure to ask you this question, and admittedly, it might be a reach, and the answer might be no. But one of the last times we spoke was for Turtles, and I know you emphasized the importance of having those kids record together in the booth because of your experience making Lion King.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could kind of pay it forward again. Is there anything about watching those kids work together in that booth that, I don't know, you found yourself holding especially tight to and influencing your work here now?
Yeah, I mean, to the spirit of this, I remember often with Ninja Turtles, we would completely throw all the dialogue out and be like, how would you say this? We wrote the 40-year-old man version of four teenagers having a conversation, but put it in your own words. And that was really, we were encouraged to do that with this. And I think that's a thing at times can make you uncomfortable where it's we're just going to make up all of it. But now I really trust that process and see you can, especially with animation, you can really get great stuff if you're with the person and kind of completely given free rein.
I understand why it's not feasible in some situations, but recording together in a booth just makes, it seems to me as an outsider at least, it could make all the difference.
It's such a big difference. It made such a, and we really now, I fully took it from John on the first one. We're starting Ninja Turtles 2 and it's the exact same, we are never recording one line without all of them there together.
Love it. Don't ever stop doing that. I did want to ask the two of you about the songs, as you brought up earlier, because of how the film is structured, you do not get the opportunity to sing the new song. So
don't.
if you could steal one for yourself, which one would you choose to sing and why?
Oh,
It's a good
I
question.
think it would have been, maybe we would take one from Encanto and stick it in
Oh,
this
we're going to
movie.
other
yeah.
films now. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
why not?
I do that Bruno song.
Exactly. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't give Timon and Pumbaa a song
Yeah,
either.
give him that
apparently.
one.
I was also thinking maybe the Brother song.
Brother
I quite enjoyed
song
that.
is really
a little
good.
more organic.
I quite enjoyed that
from
one.
this movie.
That's a really good song.
That's a good song.
I did want to wrap with a personal question inspired by this film because I just love the idea of found families in general. I love how it's used in the film and also in this industry. I feel like it's such a vital thing to be able to thrive in it. So early in your careers, can you name someone who kind of, filled that gap and made you feel like you belonged in film and television and you could thrive in it?
For me, it was actually it was David Krumholtz. Because he was someone that I grew up watching him and I met him when I was 16. He was on Freaks and Geeks and we became very good friends. And I remember he was very successful by all means. I remember being he seems to be embracing me and thinks I'm talented and seems to like me. And he was someone that made me think he seems to think I have it, and he's seen a lot of people come and go in his young age.
That's so nice. David Krumholtz and I
Went to high school
went to
together.
junior high school together and Jewish day camp. Yes, but right before he got whisked away to Hollywood. So that's so cute. And
What a
now we're
wonderful
friends
connection.
again all these years later. So many people. I went to Northwestern and graduated with like a huge group of friends who all wanted to be in some aspect of entertainment. We really stuck together in those first years in New York. I actually have known Lin-Manuel since those days too. We didn't go to college together, but met in New York right after, over 20 years ago. We performed together. The Billy on the Street videos started as a segment I did in a live show that I did with literally all of my college friends who had just graduated, and that ended up years later, obviously, doing some very nice things for me. And it was all my college friends believing in me at the beginning.
It's such a beautiful experience to have. It's so important.
Yeah.
I'm going to say huge congratulations on Mufasa. Can't wait to see more from both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.